Hi, my name is Patrick Reagan. This video called SOHO, DSL, Cable Modems, and Demarcs covers a mish-mash set of topics including reviewing what a SOHO network is, and then covers the components needed to build your own SOHO network using DSL and cable internet connections. It then discusses local loops and demarcation points, also known as Demarcs, which will be used by business or organizations. Internet Service Providers, or ISP, is a company that provides access to the internet. Connections could be DSL, cable, wireless, or fiber optics connections. ISPs can provide other services including DNS, email, domain registration, and web hosting. Small Office Home Office LAN, or SOHO, is a common local area deployment. As the name indicates, it is found in small offices or home offices. It is a small computer network usually built of one Ethernet switch, one router, and one wireless access point. Often, these three components can be part of a single appliance. Cable modem, associated with cable television, is a broadband internet connection that transmits across multiple frequencies. They can support high-speed networking, and they support data, voice, and video. Typical home cable modems can support up to 1 gigabits per second, but can go up to 10 gigabits per second. They usually use a coaxial RG6 cable with F connector to the cable device. They may have Ethernet connectors to connect devices including computers, VoIP phones, and switches. Their download speeds and upload speeds may be different, and upload speed is usually the same or slower than download speeds. Digital Subscriber Line, or DSL, is built on traditional phone lines to send and transmit data. Most common one is asymmetric DSL, or ADSL, which uses faster downstream speeds than upstream. 52 megabits per second downstream and 16 megabits per second upstreams are common. It is limited to approximately 10,000 feet limitation from the central office or CO. Faster speeds may be possible if closer to the CO. Here is a typical setup for a SOHO office using a cable modem that connects to a network switch. The ISP will provide connection to the internal coaxial jack. You'll then connect a coaxial cable from the jack to the modem, and then connect an Ethernet cable with an RJ45 connector between the cable modem and the switch. You would then use other Ethernet patch cables to connect your workstations to the network. This setup is similar to the last setup, but instead of using a network switch, we'd use a wireless router, which also acts as an Ethernet switch and a wireless access point. Typically, the wireless access point will also act as a router, which will have single IP address assigned to the ISP connection, and the private addresses will be used for the internal workstations. The wireless access point can also act as a DNS server, a DHCP server, and a firewall. This setup is using a DSL modem that also acts as a wireless access point and switch. The legacy twisted pair cable is used with the smaller RJ11 phone connector from the outlet to the DSL modem. You can then connect your workstation from the modem using Ethernet connections or wireless connections. The local loop refers to the physical link or circuit that connects the customer premises to the telecommunications provider's central office, or CO. It is often referred to as the last mile, although it can be longer than a mile, and it typically consists of copper or fiber optics cables. Copper local loops is still widely used, especially in residential areas for traditional telephone services and DSL internet connections. Fiber optics local loops are increasingly being deployed to replace or complement copper lines, providing higher bandwidth for internet and other digital services. Hybrid fiber coaxial, or HFC, are used by cable operators combining fiber and coaxial cables to deliver broadband services. The demarcation point, known as demarc, is the physical point at which the public network of a telecommunications provider ends and the private network of a customer begins. It serves as the boundary for responsibility where the telecom provider is responsible for the network up to the demarc and the customer is responsible beyond it. Residential home demarcs, typically located outside or inside the home, often in a network interface device or NID or a similar enclosure. Commercial properties, demarcs, are found in telecom closets or data centers, often involving more complex equipment like main distribution frames or MDF. In business settings, demarcs are critical for managed services where different service providers may hand off responsibility at the demarc. Here is a closer look at the local loop in the demarc. Optical Network Terminal, or ONT, is the interface from the Internet Service Provider fiber internet. It connects the ISP fiber network to the copper network. For data centers, it is the demarcation point, or demarc, in the data center. The fiber side is responsible by the ISP, and the Ethernet side is responsible by the organization. The main distribution frame, or MDF, is primarily an internal distribution point for network connections within a facility, while the demarc is the boundary point where the service provider's networks connects to the customer's network. The demarc is essential for defining ownership and responsibility for network maintenance between the customer and the provider. Question: what is used to define ownership and responsibility for network maintenance between the customer and the provider? Answer: demarc. Question: what type of cable would go from the wall jack to a cable modem? Answer: coaxial. Question: what type of cable would go from the wall jack to a DSL modem? Answer: twisted pair with an RJ11 connector. For more information, refer to these sites. In summary, Internet Service Provider, or ISP, is a company that provides access to the Internet. Cable modem, associated with cable television, is a broadband Internet connection that transmits across multiple frequencies. Digital Subscriber Line, or DSL, is built on traditional phone lines to send and transmit data. The demarcation point, known as demarc, is the physical point at which the public network of a telecommunication provider ends and the private network of a customer begins. The demarc serves as a boundary for responsibility where the telecom provider is responsible for the network up to the demarc and the customer is responsible beyond it. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Wired Networking, Part 4, Wiring Basics. If you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. Thank you.